baby, my Valentine, yeah. Boy, now you're making my temperature rise. If you leave me, I go die. I swear, you are like the oxygen I
Triple K7, just to keep it together with the exhibits of Colonel Styn. We're just going to show on the screen information. You can just indicate or just identify the information.
I don't think we have received that disc that the state is referring the witness to. Or maybe we've marked it wrong, the exhibit number.
Well, Mala, this is the information that's contained in exhibit Triple K1 up to Triple K4, my lord. It's just merely, it's just the original document. And
So the disc encapsulates the exhibits from K1 to K4.
Yes.
That's the explanation.
Le disk ke inobufakazi ke mayelana noma ke ngama exhibit la uK1 kuyofika ke kuK4
The downloads.
ma download.
Can you just identify them on the screen?
Okay, then can't we connect this one to my laptop?
Sorry.
Because, okay, I can explain from here.
Must pick it up.
Yeah, no, just
You can go from there. And whilst we're still connecting, setting up my lord, yesterday there was an incorrect page that was handed up as part of exhibit Triple K5. We have since made copies of that exhibit. It was handed up yesterday as exhibit Triple K5A. I gave my learned friend copies of that exhibit. We just beg leave to hand up a copy.
Thanks.
Have you set up? Yes.
First one, we didn't print it. This is just information of the download. It will show here that it's been done by Sergeant Muswana, and they did the download the next morning, 2014, 10/27, 06/13/53 AM.
Lana ke imininingwane nje lena iyachazela ukuthi kuyenziwa ubani uSergeant Mshwana, isikhathi ke kanye nedate 27th October 2014, isikhathi 06/13/53.
And it was done by Sergeant Muswana on Force Luriska 636 of 10/2014.
Yenziwa uyena uSergeant Mshwana kulona ke ikhala leli lase Force Luriska 6/10/2014.
The next one is the case data. We already discussed it yesterday as well in my previous statement.
Kulandela ke imininingwane yalo ke ikhala noma ke i-case data bese sikhulumile ngako ke izolo lokhu kanye futhi ke naku statement sami sindlule.
Then it's the device general information.
imininingwane ke lena iyawo umakhalekhukhwini uqobo.
Just if I can just interrupt you, Colonel Styn, if you can just go back to that information about the download by Sergeant Moshwana,
This one or the previous one?
the previous one, the one that has got a case reference. Yes, the one with the case reference.
That's correct, no?
Yes, the next one. I just want to refer you to page 17 of your affidavit.
That's correct.
Yes.
17?
Yes. Is there the information that you've just shown there on the screen?
That's correct.
The one that you say we didn't print.
Yes, correct.
Ku page 17 ke iyona le mininingwane le engiqeda ukukhuluma ngayo manje ke ngishilo ukuthi ayiprintiwe.
Thank you. You can proceed.
The next one is the case data. That's the one we just referred to now on page 17. Then it's the device general information.
Lana imininingwane yakhe umakhalekhukhwini.
It's also mentioned on my page 17 of my first statement.
Khona ke nayo ku page 17 ku statement sami sokuqala.
Then we go to device lock. That is the exhibit KK1.
Lana ke lokho kubizwa ngokuthi i-device lock izibithi u-KK1. Ke u-KK3 ama-apps ke akhona ke noma ke akuwona umakhalekhukhwini uqobo.
Then it's the contact list, KK2.
Bese kuthi u-KK2 bese kuthi ke imininingwane ke noma ke i-list ke yama contact.
This is only just on one page now. On KK2, it's in 2 pages.
Lana ke kuyi-page nje elodwa kuphela kodwa ke ku-KK2 ama-page amabili.
This is the calls which we downloaded from the phone.
Lana ke iwona ke ama-calls ke noma ukhulumana ke esawa-downloada kuwona ke umakhalekhukhwini.
And this exhibit? Just
This exhibit KK4.
Lana sikhuluma ke manje ngezibithi u-KK4.
That's all we discussed yesterday.
Ikona ke lokho esikhulume ngako izolo.
Further on, you do receive, you can find messages, SMSs, but we didn't discuss it or we didn't work on that.
Ungafumana ungathola ke nawo ke ama-message ama-SMS ke kodwa ke asikhulumanga ngaloko izolo.
the state banks leave to hand up the CD as exhibit KK7.
Lona ke i-CD leli ke elindlulisayo ke enkantolo nanjengobufakazi u-KK7 lona.
There's only one copy, my lord. As we said, my lord, it's the same information as
My
the
lord,
triple K series.
We'll need to check it to verify if the information contained here is what has been
Yes.
referred
Can you check
to.
it now, Colonel?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, do it now so that
But I can't take a CD.
Oh, on the CD.
Yeah, I can't work on a CD.
you can't reopen it.
No, I don't have a CD.
This one, you can't open it.
No.
This
We
very
ca-
CD.
Yeah.
We can open it here, my lord.
Yeah, just do it. If you can. Sorry, just as a matter of interest, is it because of security considerations that you can't open the CD which is encapsulated in your computer?
The new computers
Yeah.
don't have CD player.
It's about
Because-
compatibility, my lord.
Is that compatibility?
Yes, yeah.
No other reason?
No other reason.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, can you just identify it as we go through the CD?
Yeah, just go. Okay, I must. Can I come to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Not another one? No, that's all. It's down in the corner?
Sorry, you know, it will be easier this way. Do it on the computer
Okay.
where it is encapsulated, and thereafter repeat your evidence standing there. Okay.
I think you can do it. Use my mic.
It's exactly, if we come to this one, it's exactly the same. It also show us the date he downloaded the CD.
Ikona-ke lokho bese ngikhulume ngako iyatshengisa futhi-ke nelanga i-CD eyadownloadwa ngalo.
It is also a case reference number is Vosloorus 636 of 10/2014,
Ila kubhalwe khona inamba yalo iqala Phosphorus 636/10/2014.
and it's been done by Sergeant Muswana.
Uyena uSergeant Mushwana.
And just place the date on record on which it was downloaded.
It's been downloaded on 2014-10/27
2014-10/27 i-date.
at 06:13:53 a.m. in the morning.
6:13:53 ekuseni.
The next page is the same as that one of mine of page 17 of my first statement.
Lona-ke efana-ke no-page 17 kwi-statement sami sokuqala.
And it's a Vosloorus cash. The exhibit bag number, it's a PA 500 2087781.
Bese kuthi-ke iqala-ke lase-Phosphorus ibhegi-ke noma-ke inamba yesikhwama-ke u-PA 500 2087781.
That is the bag in which the cell phone was sealed in.
Ilosona-ke isikhwama leso umakhalekhukhwini owafakwa. Uhlobo-ke lomakhalekhukhwini i-ZTE V795.
And the IMEI number is 8633720213762114.
Bese kuthi-ke i-IMEI number u-8633720213762114.
The cell number is 082-704-4358.
Bese kuthi-ke i-cell number u-0827044358.
The name of the suspect, Kelly Kumalo.
Igama lomsolwa uKelly Khumalo.
Then the offense, they didn't mention a date of birth or ID number, and then the offense is murder.
Akuchazanga-ke noma kubhaliwe-ke ukuthi wazalwa nini-ke noma i-ID number. Bese kuthi-ke iqala-ke ukubulala.
Investigation officer, Lieutenant Colonel Nedling,
Bese kuthi umphenyi wecala u-Lieutenant Colonel Nyetling.
and the unit is Stomps.
Bese kuthi-ke unity i-Dobbs.
That one is also the same as my on page number 17 of my previous statement. It's the device general information.
Nalana-ke ingalendlela ekungayo-ke ku-page 17 esitatimende sami sokuqala imininingwane emayelana nayo umakhalekhukhwini.
Device event log, where we mentioned about the device boot up, was on 2014-10/27 at 01:51:58
Bese kuthi
a.m.
Sibese kuthi lana imininingwane-ke mayelana nayo emakhalekhukhwini kubhaliwe-ke i-boot up kuyona-ke emakhalekhukhwini kwakungayi-27 October 2014.
Is this information also contained in your affidavit and the exhibits?
That's correct.
Le mininingwane ikhona-ke kwi-statement sami kanye futhi-ke namazibithi.
Then the device installed apps.
Nama-apps-ke atholakalayo nama angaphakathi-ke kuyena umakhalekhukhwini.
That is not included in my statement because I didn't see it as important.
Kodwa-ke lokhu akukho kwi-statement sami ngoba-ke angibonanga kubalulekile.
Then the next one is the list of the contacts.
Bese kuthi elandelayo-ke uhla lama-contacts.
Then the next one is the calls we retrieve from the cell phone handset.
Bese kuthi lana-ke ama-calls-ke esawakhipha-ke noma-ke esawathatha-ke kuwona umakhalekhukhwini.
And then further on is just personal information from where they mention her husband's birthday and
Lana-ke imininingwane nje la achaza khona-ke ukuthi-ke i-birthday-ke yalowo mini wakhe-ke iningi.
So that is what is contained in the disk.
that's correct. That is the same we just discussed.
Ikona-ke lokhu okuyona-ke lena ikona lokhu ebesiqeda ukukhuluma ngakho.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Msholo? The information in that disk is the very information which the colonel testified about yesterday.
And you also testify that you received the section 205 of Ms. Kelly Kumalo. In what format did you receive?
I also received it in a CD format.
Bese ngishilo noma ngishilo-ke mangifakaza ukuthi ngathola-ke ne-section 205 yakhe-ke uKelly Khumalo yona ngayithola-ke nayo nge-CD.
The extracts thereof are referred to in the exhibit J1 of Ms. Fatin Games.
That's correct, yes.
Kona-ke lokho ketholakala-ke kuyona J1 wakhe-ke malo ebezofakaza-ke lana uMiss Bellingham.
Do you confirm that?
That's correct. I
that
confirm
information?
it's the same one.
Iyona-ke lena iyakho lokho.
My lord, thank you. That is all the information that we requested that the witness should be recalled on.
Okay. Mr. Gomez, any cross-examination?
Morning.
Mr. Styn, I've gone through your affidavit, K6. I was checking the contents and the wording of that affidavit. It tells me that this affidavit, you were with someone when you were preparing this affidavit. Do you agree with me?
No, I don't agree with you.
Ngifundile-ke istatement sakho noma-ke ngifundile-ke la-ke K6. Uma ngifunda-ke ngendlela-ke ekubhalwe ngayo-ke laphayana ngitshela ukuthi-ke ukhona owakade unayo inkathi yokwenza usenzo lesi cha angivumelani nalokho.
Neither you were influenced by anyone to put these contents in this affidavit.
No.
Akukho futhi nalowo owaba nomthelela-ke ukuthi-ke ngibhale ngale ndlela noma ngisibhale-ke le statement.
When you were asked about this, to the best of your knowledge and to your satisfaction about the contents, you were satisfied with the contents of this?
That's correct.
Futhi-ke ngineliseki noma nginemeke ngalokhu okubhaliwe khona la kule statement.
I just want to take you firstly on paragraph 4. I think it has some paragraphs from 1 to 10.
That's correct.
Now, before we commence my cross-examination, as I have started already, I just want us to get to understand the the meaning behind the wording in paragraph 4, in paragraph 9. That is subparagraph 9 of paragraph 4.
That's correct.
Will you please read that paragraph for me, please?
The court must also bear in mind that the latest Poppy Act wasn't active during that time, 2014.
Lana ke ku paragraph 9 okubhaliwe ukuthi ke ngifisa ke ukuthi inkantolo ke nake noma ikubheke ke ukuthi ke lo mthetho obizwa ngokuthi ke yi-Poppy Act wawungekho ke ngaleso sikhathi ke ngo-2014.
What do you mean by this?
After the Poppy Act started to work, we now supposed to get permission either from the owner or from court that we can download the phone, work on your personal information.
Lokho ngikuchazayo noma ngikushoyo ke ngalokho ukuthi ke uthe umthetho usungenile ke noma usukhona ke lo obizwa ngokuthi yi-Poppy Act bese kufuneka manje ke ngaphambi kokuthi singasebenza ke noma khona singakwenza kuona kumakhala ekhukhwini sithole ke imvume kuyena umnikazi noma inkantolo.
All right. That's very brilliant. Now I want you to take me or to take this court on the process, practical process of applying or requesting a permission either to the owner or to the court. What is the practical procedure that you have to follow?
Now lately or during this phone?
No. I'm talking generally about the applicability of the Poppy Act when a permission is required from the owner of the cell phone or from the court.
Mm-hmm.
We object to that question. Firstly, it is not relevant. The witnesses said that it was not applicable at the time when he downloaded the information. How will that be of assistance to the court if it was not applicable at the time? We submit, my lord, that it's an unfair question.
That question is relevant, my lord. If Mr. Baloyi can be patient, he will understand where I'm going. I'm saying your answer was that if the Poppy Act was applicable, I'm not talking about a situation where it was not applicable. You understand, sir?
That's correct.
Sorry?
That's correct.
My question relates to the period when the Poppy Act was applicable. What procedure needs to be followed there? That's your answer. You said you need to get the permission from the owner of a cell phone. How do you get that permission? That's the simple question.
It's a simple answer.
Yes.
If it's an owner, if you got the owner, you got the form in which he completed and he give us the permission.
How do you ask the permission? How are you given that permission by the owner? Is it in writing, orally, or otherwise?
It's in writing.
Thank you. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Uma ngabe lo mthetho ususebenza la bese ngishilo khona ukuthi imvume uyithola kuyena umnikazi noma enkantolo impenduleke noma uma kunikeza yona imvume ke ukwenza lokho ngokuthi abhale phansi ngoba kune form ekhona ke la obhala khona ke naye ke bese uyaphendula futhi.
So in the case where it is applicable, when you approach the court, how do you request the permission from the court?
The investigation officer complete a sworn statement and he handed it over to the magistrate. And in that application, you must mention who the phone is going to download, who's the downloader, what he's going to use, everything. And then the court gives us permission. It's actually the same as when you do application for a Section 205.
Lana ke uma sekukuthi manje imvume leyo icelwa enkantolo lowo phenye icala uzobhala incwadi ezondluliselwa ke kwimantshi la echaza khona ke ukuthi ke uzokwenzani ke ubani futhi ke ozokudownloada kuyafana nje uma noma kwenziwa isicelo sayo i205.
But I want to be specific in terms of the prescribed provision. Do you have a particular or a specific provision? Because you say it is almost similar like Section 205 application to have a specific provision whereby you approach the court through an investigating officer on a sworn statement, to have a specific provision relating to that.
Yes, you got, but remember, I'm not doing that. That is the duty of the investigation officer. He applied for the permission and everything. He bring me the product.
Kwenziwa ngayo lokho ukuthi akusipina umuntu okwenzayo ke kona ke lokho kodwa ke ulowo ophenyayo ke ukuba uyena okwenzayo lokho mina ungilethela nje oseqedile.
Now, I'm getting back into this one. You say the act was not applicable at that time.
That's correct.
Ngishilo ukuthi ke lo mthetho esikhuluma ngawo copy act ngaleso sikhathi leso ngangisebenza lo wawungeka bikhona.
But for the benefit of the public, there was no need to ask for a permission according to you when that law was not applicable. Correct?
My Lord, I don't know. What must I answer now?
No, no,
because
no.
that time the Poppy Act wasn't even there. It wasn't even something you had to think about.
Lo mthetho lona wawungekho ngaleso sikhathi kwangasiyona nento futhi owawungacabanga noma ungacabanga ngayo.
I want to help you because you are at least now retired. You'll have time to research this.
Sorry
My
about
question,
that.
let me rephrase. May I rephrase it, my lord?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm taking you on your affidavit. On your affidavit, not on the affidavit of the investigating officer. I referred you to paragraph 9 of your exhibit, triple case 6, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. I want you to understand and give this court the meaning of the paragraph. You say the Poppy Act was not applicable at that time in 2014. That's what you are saying.
That's correct.
Yebo lokho ngisho lana ukuthi ke lo mthetho engiubiza noma esiubiza ngokuthi Poppy Act ngaleso sikhathi leso ngo2014 wawungasebenzi.
Do you know when did this act came into operation or come into operation? Do you know?
It's
Which
in
year?
October 2021.
Uma usuqala ke ukusebenza lo mthetho kwakungo-October ka2021.
Are you secure? Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but as far as I can remember, because we did the case in the beginning in the end of October and we just missed the steps.
Kungenzeka ke ukuthi ke anginaso isiqiniseko kodwa ngiyakhumbula nje ngo-October ke ukuthi ke khona nje icala esasilenza ke ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Do you need some time to stand the matter down so that you can check that provision?
I don't have that information anymore. I'm a retired colonel now.
Lokho ke ukuthi ke asime nje ngibheke lokho angeke ngikwenzeke ngoba manje angisena ke uKenya osesebenza sengahlala phansi angisasebenzi.
All right. A Poppy Act was made into law in 2013. In 2013. Wait. I know. Do you disagree with me?
I don't agree or disagree with you because
As a court, please, my lord, I think it's unfair for Mr. Mngo just to put a broad proposition without showing him the act to indicate that it was promulgated on a certain date, assented to on a certain date by the president. It was promulgated on a certain date, and that it came into operation on a certain date, instead of just making such a general proposition to the witness. In fact, my learned friend has just indicated to me that according to the information, it commenced on the 1st of July 2021, and not as my learned friend
It came into law during that
proposes.
period.
And you know, we know that there are various stages that an
Yeah.
act of parliament goes through before can come into operation, going to different houses of parliament, and eventually being signed by the president into law. I think my learned friend.
So you
can
say, sorry, I
discuss.
hear you. You say it was assented to in 2021, not 2019.
Yes, it came into operation in July 2021.
Yeah, I know they are, well, I don't want to get into this debate. I know they appointed a colleague, it's a relative actually. Ms. Tlakula was appointed as the administrator of the Poppy Act.
Yes. And that was fairly recent.
Yeah, it was. But let's see the act itself, because now we're arguing about whether it started in 2020 or what. Where's the act say?
Kusaphikiswana ke ngalo mthetho ke lana njengoba eshoko umbaba uNgomezulu ukuthi kwango-2013 kodwa-ke abashushishi uma bebheka-ke bathi cha wenza iphutha ke lapho ngoba-ke kuba ney'gaba-ke la ngaphambi kokuthi iyofica-ke president abe seyayisayinda-ke uma seyisayinda-ke yena-ke okungeyi-1st zikaJulayi 2021 hhayi nanjengoba esho ubaba uNgomezulu athi ngo-2013.
My Lord,
Yeah.
it's just that we.
We just tried to print the first page, but it shows date of commencement July 2021.
Yeah, the lady is Pansy Tlakula. She's the administrator of the Poppy Act. That's what they call it. So the application would probably go to her office.
So this one, IE or IM. Does it have IE or ethnic? It must have. It's precision to say information. It's computer. Yeah. It's the same thing that we're talking about. No. Wait, it's May I request this aspect to stand down so that I can verify?
Yeah, before you do that, I want to give you a decision,
Yes.
which you must read. It's State versus Cooper. It's 1973. The Sasso trial, I was involved there.
My Lord, may I?
Wait.
I understand.
This is
Kwenziwa ngayo lokho ukuthi akusipina umuntu okwenzayo-ke kona-ke lokho kodwa-ke ulowo ophenyayo-ke ukuba uyena okwenzayo lokho mina ungilethela nje oseqedile.
Now, I'm getting back into this one. You say the act was not applicable at that time.
That's correct.
Ngishilo ukuthi-ke lo mthetho esikhuluma ngawo i-Poppy Act ngaleso sikhathi leso ngangisebenza lo wawungekabi khona-ke.
But for the benefit of the public, there was no need to ask for a permission according to you when that law was not applicable. Correct?
My Lord, I don't know. What must I answer now?
No,
Because that time the Poppy Act wasn't even there. It wasn't even something you had to think about.
Lo mthetho lona wawungekho ngaleso sikhathi kwangasiyona nento futhi owawungayicabanga noma ungacabanga ngayo.
I want to help you because you are at
on my
least
desk.
now
Like
retired.
a phone.
You'll have time to research this.
Sorry
My
about
question,
that.
let me rephrase. May I rephrase it, my Lord?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm taking you on your affidavit. On your affidavit, not on the affidavit of the investigating officer. I referred you to paragraph 9 of your exhibit triple case 6, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. I want you to understand and give this court the meaning of the paragraph. You say the Poppy Act was not applicable at that time in 2014. That's what you are saying.
That's correct.
Yebo lokho ngishoyo lana ukuthi ke lo mthetho engiwubiza noma esiwubiza ngokuthi i-Poppy Act ngaleso sikhathi leso ngo-2014 wawungasebenzi.
Do you know when did this act came into operation or come into operation? Do you know?
It's
Which
in
year?
October 2021.
Uma usuqala ke ukusebenza lo mthetho kwakungo-October ka-2021.
Are you secure? Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but as far as I can remember, because we did a case in the beginning in the end of October and we just missed the steps.
Kungenzeka ke ukuthi ke anginaso isiqiniseko kodwa ngiyakhumbula nje ngo-October ke ukuthi ke khona nje icala esasilenza ke ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Do you need some time to stand the matter down so that you can check that provision?
I don't have that information anymore. I'm a retired colonel now.
Lokho ke ukuthi ke asime nje ngibheke lokho angeke ngikwenzeke ngoba manje angisena ke uKenya osesebenza sengahlala phansi angisasebenzi.
All right. A Poppy Act was made into law in 2013. In 2013. Do you disagree with me?
I don't agree or disagree with you because
As a court, please, my lord, I think it's unfair for Mr. Mngo just to put a broad proposition without showing him the act to indicate that it was promulgated on a certain date, assented to on a certain date by the president. It was promulgated on a certain date, and that it came into operation on a certain date, instead of just making such a general proposition to the witness. In fact, my learned friend has just indicated to me that, according to the information, it commenced on the 1st of July 2021, and not as my learned friend
It came into law during that
proposes.
period.
And you know, we know that there are various stages that an
Yeah.
act of parliament goes through before can come into operation, going to different houses of parliament, and eventually being signed by the president into law. I think my learned friend.
So you
can
say, sorry,
discuss
I hear you. You say it was assented to in 2021, not 2019.
Yes, it came into operation in July 2021.
Yeah, I know they are, well, not even, I don't want to get into this debate. I know they appointed a colleague, it's a relative actually. Ms. Tlakula was appointed as the administrator of the Poppy Act.
Yes. And that was fairly recent.
Yeah, it was. But let's see the Act itself, because now we're arguing about whether it started in 2020 or what. Where's the Act say?
Kusaphikiswana ke ngalo mthetho ke lana njengoba eshoko ubaba uMzulu ukuthi kwango-2013 kodwa ke abashushishi uma bebheka ke bathi cha wenza iphutha ke lapho ngoba ke kuba nezigaba ke la ngaphambi kokuthi iyofika ke president abe seyayisayinda ke uma seyisayinda ke yena ke kwakungoyi-1st zika July 2021 hayi nanjengoba esho ubaba uMzulu athi ngo-2013.
My lord,
Yeah.
it's just that we.
We just tried to print the first page, but it shows date of commencement July 2021.
Yeah, the lady is Pansy Tlakula. She's the administrator of the Poppy Act. That's what they call it. So the application would probably go to her office.
So is this one IE or IM? Does it have IE or ethnic? It must have.
It's Precision Personal Information Act. It's Copy Act.
Yeah.
It's the same act that we're talking
No,
about.
no, no. Wait, it's the criminal infiltration.
May I request this aspect to stand down so that I can verify?
Yeah, before you do that, I want to give you a decision
Yes.
which you must read. It's State versus Cooper. It's 1973. The Sasso trial, I was involved there.
My Lord, may I?
Wait.
I understand.
It's to you. You must read it once we've adjourned, because it will educate us whether, in fact, that objection.
May I
was
just place
valid
this
or not.
first before we adjourn?
Yeah.
Because Mr. Baloyi has already addressed the court in terms of the time of its operation.
Yeah, fine.
Yes. My Lord, according to my research, it was promulgated in 2013. Then it came into operation on the 11th of April 2014. That's what I want to place it before we stand this matter down for verification.
And he is reading that it was assented to when? An act comes into effect when it is assented to by the
Yes.
President.
In 2013.
Maybe promulgated. Yeah, this is the case. Let's just read this case. The State versus Cooper and others, 1976. 1 SA 932T. It's a judgment by Bosov, who was then subsequently the JP of this division. Sorry. Just give it to Mr. Mngo. Are you aware of this, Mr. Baloyi? This case?
Of Cooper,
Yeah.
we will refer to we'll
So should
we'll
you
check
adjourn
it
or
out.
should you
Yes.
do what?
Yeah, we just want to place on record, my Lord, that actually POPIA Act is just the acronym. The name of the act is Protection of Personal Information Act 4 of 2013. It was assented to by the President on the 19th of November 2013 and says date of commencement 1 July 2020. We're just looking at...
Okay, let's just put that into evidence. So when did it become law? According to what you are reading there.
It's 1 July 2020.
And Mr. Mngomezulu says
According
it's
to me-
2014.
According to my research, is the 11th of April 2014.
This is a question of law. We can all look into that, look at the applicable government gazette that put that into operation. But on the face of the act, this is the information that is
Let
contained.
me have a look at that.
These enactments were implicitly. But basically, what was the purpose of this application of this act? Was to protect.
Well, what I'm reading here, it says the source. This is the Department of Justice, Statutes and Regulations of South Africa. And it says it's Act 11-776. And it says Protection of Personal Information Act 4 of 2013. And it says assented to 19th November 2013. Date of commencement 1st July 2020. And then it says here, it was printed in the Government Gazette number 297, Gazette number 44383 of 1st April 2021. That's when it was gazetted, according to this. Did you see when it was gazetted, sir? Mr. Sibanda? Yeah.
Mr. Spanner.
Did you see when it was gazetted? Or you didn't read that?
Yeah, we didn't check that.
Yeah, ne? How do you read
The-
an act?
Is there are 3 gazettes?
Yeah, fine.
we saw there are 3 gazettes that came into operation on different dates.
Yeah,
Yes, we just have to check those
Okay.
gazettes.
fine.
Hence, I'm requesting this aspect to stand down, but
Yeah, fine. We'll stand down until when?
no, this aspect, I'll proceed with my cross-examination.
Okay, what's
Maybe
the
I'll
time?
address it after lunch.
What's the time now?
4 minutes to 11.
Okay. You want us to adjourn now or what?
No, my lord.
Oh, okay,
I
fine.
was-
Go. Okay, go
On
on.
this aspect, that's the reason why I was requesting.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Styn, let's just, because this is very important, I'll come back to it after lunch, if needs be. Let's move on. We are still on paragraph 4. The first and the second bulletin of your paragraph. You talked about section 205. You see that?
That's correct.
And that's where you said how to apply for section 205.
That's correct.
When you apply for section 205, as you have indicated, it goes to the court grants the application, then it's taken to a service provider. In this case, this is Vodacom, correct?
That's correct.
Uma ususenza-ke lesi sicelo sayo i-205 qale inkantolo bese manje iyadlulela-ke kuleyo nkampani leyo-ke lana-ke sikhuluma ngo-Vodacom.
Then you'll be provided as it when you proceed with your evidence to say the TSU will issue a reference number.
That's correct.
Bese yandlula-ke ila khona manje-ke i-TSU yona isinikeza-ke nge-reference number.
And then it reaches the service provider who will provide the section 205.
That's correct.
Ima la manje-ke isindlulela kuyona-ke i-service provider noma-ke inkampani leyo ekhipha-ke i-205.
And that process, when the service provider gives you the 205s, it gives you it in a form of a PDF format.
That's correct.
Bese kuthi inkampani leyo kuma sekunikeza yona-ke leyo 205 ikunikeza-ke ngohlobo-ke lwe-PDF.
The PDF, I'm putting to you that it is authentic and original. It is real and genuine. Do you agree?
That's correct.
Futhi-ke yona-ke leyo-ke kuyilo ebizwa ngokuthi noma leyo PDF iyona-ke eyi-original noma-ke ewungqo.
And since there is an application in terms of section 205, the service provider is authorized by the court to provide or to give that subpoena in terms of section 205.
That's correct.
Bese kuthi yona-ke inkampani leyo-ke yona-ke ila igunyaziswa-ke inkantolo-ke ukuthi-ke kwenzeke lokho.
Now, let's look at the integrity of this PDF format. It's a genuine document, it's real, it's original, it cannot be tampered with. You agree with me?
That's correct.
Futhi-ke le PDF ngohlobo-ke noma ngendlela-ke eza ngayo noma-ke etholakala ngayo ila khona-ke ekungekho lutho olungenziwa-ke noma-ke iphazanyiswe.
Once it is converted into an Excel, the originality remains with the PDF.
That's correct.
Uma manje isishintshwa ke shintshela kuyona ke Excel, kodwa yona ke PDF yona ke isahlezi ingale yandlela.
When you process cell phone data, it gets into another stage or another integrity of being capable of being edited. Is that correct?
The possibility is there.
Manje ke ima isindlula ke manje usuqhubeka ke nokwenza umsebenzi isifika manje kwesinye ke isigaba la ekungenzeka noma yini ke khona ke uthi lokho ke yebo amathuba khona ke.
So if we go to J1, the of Pinky Vitilium, that information provided by the service provider cannot be disputed or cannot be changed in any way. Do you agree?
I agree.
Ngiyavuma ke ukuthi kodwa manje mase siya kuyena ke J1 lokhana ekulaphayana kona ke akwazeki ukuthi ngashintshwa ke noma khona ongenziwa kona.
And Pinky Vitilium has already led evidence about the contents of the Section 205.
That's correct.
I said Pinky
No, I'm saying proceed, it's fine.
Oh, sorry, thank you, Mr. After she has led evidence, then, all right, now, she has led evidence. The process of downloading or of converting that PDF information to an Excel, it has to be worked into a working document. Is that?
Just so that we don't confuse the issues, there are two processes. My learned friend is talking about downloading and he's also talking about conversion. These are two different concepts. Just so that the record becomes clear, my lord. Downloading is when you take the instrument itself and you look at the contents thereof. And conversion is something different. That's a good place.
Court, please, thank you for. After the downloading of that information, I want to get into the point where you are involved as an analyst. During the conversion and the downloading, you are not directly involved.
That's correct.
Kunalama process amabili ke manje ke lana khona ke lo keep imininingwane ke ebizwa ngokuthi ke downloader no conversion la yokushintsha ke ukuthi kulawo ke ama process ke mina ke angisiyona ingxenye noma angikho kuwona.
And during the process of conversion and downloading, it also requires human involvement. Am I right?
Human involvement with a specific program.
Yes.
Because I myself don't have that program to convert it to PDF to a working document.
Kule igaba ke imbili ke sikhuluma ngazo ke lana ukudownloada uconversion yebo uyakudinga ukuthi umuntu abe khona ke kodwa ke kube nohlelo ke noma ke iprogram ke mina ke anginayo ke leyo program leyo.
Once everything is done, is taken for analysis, that's where you are involved. Am I right?
That's correct.
Bese kuthi mase kwenziwe konke ke manje sekuhanjiselwa noma kuzokwenziwa ucwaningo ila engiba ingxenye khona.
Before you commence with the analysis, you are not aware of what took place during the conversion and the downloading.
No.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ke mina ngiqaleke ngolwami ucwaningo ke obekwenziwa ngaphambilini ke kulezi imbili igaba engikhulumile ngazo ukuthi bekwenziwani ke lapho angazi.
Okay. I'm trying to I'll think of this word. I'm trying to demonstrate the factual causation of what might have caused the discrepancies between what is in the PDF format and what is in your affidavit, Exhibit 01. But please bear with me because I'm trying to follow the logic. When you receive this spreadsheet, you said you received the spreadsheet and the downloads for analysis. Am I correct? Or maybe I didn't get it.
Maybe you not get it. Remember, Section 205 is on its own.
Yes.
The download is on its own.
Yes.
So it's totally two different things.
May I rephrase it?
Mhlambe kukhona ke nje la ongangizwanga khona noma ongangitholanga khona ke ukuthi masikhuluma ngayo i205 sikhuluma ngayo udownloader into ezimbili lezi ezahlukene.
Yes, may
Akusona
I rephrase it by saying, when you receive the Section 205s and the downloads for the purposes of analyzing, you were working on a spreadsheet that you were given by the investigating officer.
That's correct.
Uma sengithola ke manje ke yo kunale 205 kunale kufanele kudownload khona ke ngisebenza ngalokho engakuthola kuyena lo owumphenyi wecala.
Why I'm asking this is because your evidence is that you received these 205s and downloads from Constable Mshwana on the 27th of October 2014. Am I correct to say that?
No, you're not correct.
Utheke wena ke uma ukhuluma ke uba mthele
Sorry.
ubaba ungomizulu uthe
Yeah.
uconstable kodwa ke uSergeant Mushwana
Sergeant Mushwana.
ngazo i24 27
27
October 2014 uthi cha akulona iqiniso lelo.
So what is the correct position there?
The correct one is in my statement. I mentioned on page 3 of my first statement.
Yes.
On the 9th of April 2020, at about 10 o'clock, I received a CD, Section 205 and cell phone downloads from the investigation officer Brigadier Kaginda with information about the following topics.
Lana ke kubhaliwe ku page 3 waso statement sami soqala ke ukuthi ngey9 zika April 2020 lo ngakuthola ku Brigadier Gininda
Thank you.
asena ke uMushwana.
Thank you, sir. So the downloading was done in 2014 on the 27th of October.
That's correct.
Base kuthi ke udownloada lokho kwenzeka kona ke ngazo i27 ku October 2014.
That's the reason is because I wanted clarity, because I wanted to ask as to how many times did you conduct, how many times did you analyze, because you conducted the analysis in 2020.
That's correct.
Ila benginokudideka khona ke ngoba mina ke ngendlela engizwe ngayo ke ukuthi ke ucwaningo lokho wakwenza ngo2020 yebo kuyiqiniso.
All right, let's look at the period. I just want to check the period when this analysis was done in 2020. From 2014, 27 October 2014, now you performed or you analyzed the downloads in 2020, which means 6 years after it has been downloaded. A period of 6 years. That's when you conducted the analysis.
That's correct.
Yebo kusikhathi lesiyana ke seminyaka ke eyisithupha ke mawubheka ke 27 October 2014 mina ngase ke ucwaningo ngenza ngo2020 yebo kuyiqiniso iminyaka eyisithupha.
So I understand from the background of Brigadier Gininda that he was appointed in 2018 as an investigating officer in this case.
That's correct.
Ngizwile ke ngayo Brigadier Ginindi ukuthi yena ke waqokwa ke ngo-2018 ukuthi ke abe umphenyi walecala yebo kuyiqiniso.
So I just want to establish, if you know, if you don't know, it's not a problem. From 2014 up to the time of his appointment, there was no analysis done on the downloads.
No, definitely there was some analysis done.
Sorry?
There was done. It was done with some other analysis. But when Brigadier Gagina and his team has been appointed, he asked me to help, to assist.
Manje engifisa ukuthi ngikwazi ke ukuthi kusuka ngayo u2014 kwaze kwayoba isikhathi la aqoba khona Brigadier Ginindi ukusho ukuthi ke akaze kube nocwaningo olwenziwa lana uthi cha akusilona ke iqiniso lelo yebo khona ke ucwaningo olwenziwa ke kodwa uma eseqokwa ke yena ke uBrigadier Ginindi kanye nethimba lakhe wase engicela ke ukuthi angenze ucwaningo lolo.
So say, you said you were provided with a certain number, certain cell numbers by Brigadier Ginindi.
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kunamanamba athize uBrigadier Ginindi anginikeza wona.
Now, on the A and B system, you said something about the A and B system where you throw in and whatever. Is it actually prescribed or governed by a particular piece of legislation?
That's correct.
ANP le engikhulume ngayo ke yebo ke ukhona ke umthetho othize ke noma umthetho olawula lokho noma ke ukusebenza lokho.
I understand it's an app in the SAPS.
That's correct.
Futhi ke lokubizwa ngokuthi ke i-app phakathi emaphoyiseni.
But
Or
is there,
program.
sorry?
Or
It's
a program, yeah.
Yes. But is it promulgated or regulated by a particular act of parliament other than being?
I don't know.
Ukuthi ke kunomthetho othize ke obuye eParliament olawula lokho angazi.
So the reason for you to be called or to be recalled is to clarify the discrepancies between J1 and Exhibit 01, especially on two transactions. Transactions of the 2nd of August 2014 and the 15th of October 2014. Correct?
2nd of October and the 15th of October. Yeah.
15th of October 2014.
That's correct.
Ukubizwa kwakhe ke noma ke ukuthi uphinde ubizwe futhi ke njengoba ubuzileke kuhlanje ngaphambi ukuthi uzothola ubufakazi bakho bekuchaza ke ungahlanganike okukhona ke lana phakathi kwakhe J1 kanye ke no01 futhi ke khulunywa lana amalanga amabili i15 zika October 15 October kanye nazo i2nd zika August yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
I believe my colleagues will get into that aspect. I just want you to get into the what is essential relating to the principles of law. You have already gave evidence in August 2023.
Yes.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngo-August ka 2023 ngase ngibethula ubufakazi bami.
And August 2024, you are recalled to give clarity on what you testified on in 2023 August.
That's correct, my lord. Like I explained yesterday, I proved yesterday that there's no difference between my evidence and the one I give in last year, August last year.
Buso thule ubufakazi ke ngo-August ka 2023 August ke manje ka 2024 uyabizwa futhi ke ukuthi ke uzochaza ke la okunongahlangani khona ke yebo kuyiqiniso lokho nkosenkantolo nayo izolo ke ngikutshengisile ke noma ngikuvezile ke ukuthi ke awukho umehluko kuloko engakusho ngo-August unyaka odlule naloku engikushilo la enkantolo.
Like I did mention yesterday, the section 205 is on its own. And the download is on its own.
Nanjengoba ngishilo-ke futhi-ke ukuthi-ke i-section 205 lena-ke iyimele kanye futhi nayo-ke i-download into eyodwa ukusho ukuthi into eyimbili eyihlukile.
The section 205 is actually the property or a product of Vodacom. The download is a product of the SAP.
Bese kuthi-ke manje i-205 yona-ke ibuya ku-Vodacom. Bese kuthi i-download lena yona-ke ibuya emaphoyiseni.
Any changes between the 205s or any discrepancies or differences between the section 205s and the downloads. You said it assumes a status of an Excel in order to, so it assume a status of an Excel after it has been downloaded. Am I putting it correctly?
When I
From
receive
the conversion part of
yeah,
it?
when I receive it, it's in an Excel spreadsheet, a working document.
Yes.
Uma mina ngiyithola ikuloko okubizwa ngokuthi-ke i-spreadsheet-ke se-Excel ngamagama-ke i-document noma yinto ongasebenza ngayo ongasebenza kuyona.
Yes. My concern is at the time when you received that spreadsheet, did you come across the differences between what is in the 205s and that spreadsheet or on your working document?
There wasn't any differences.
Akukho ukwehluka okwakukhona noma umehluko owawukhona.
Where does this difference come from? Was it at the time when you used the A and B program?
Which difference you're referring to now?
I'm
That column, I did mention in my first statement that I transport the information to an Excel spreadsheet to explain it to the court in a workable, understandable document. So that is something I did myself. It's not a difference with a section 205 or a download. Like you see in that exhibit you received yesterday. It's on page this and it's on page that.
Angazi-ke umuphi lo mehluko okhuluma ngawo ngoba ngikushilo-ke lokhu izoloko ukuthi mina-ke engakukhipha-ke lokhu laphayana-ke ngenzela inkantolo ukuthi-ke ikuzwisise-ke noma-ke ibone-ke imina okwenziwa yimina futhi-ke nakona-ke amazibiti eniwatholile-ke izolo ukuthi i-page elithize ngale i-page elithize.
Okay. Just give me a second. There's something I just want to check before I move on to something else.
You may sit down if you want to, sir.
Thank you.
I'm the fitter one here.
This one. Just a second, my lord. Sir, there is something that also bothers me here in paragraph 6 of your affidavit. Can you please read that sentence for me?
Paragraph 6 of bullet 6.
No, paragraph 6.
That one of Kelly rebooted.
Yes.
Okay. Kelly rebooted her handset during the early morning hours of.
Oh, sorry, before that one. Sorry, sir, before that one. Paragraph 5.
As mentioned in my previous statement, paragraph 3, I did mention that I make use of both the section 205 and the downloads to explain to the court and make use.
Nanjengoba ngishilo-ke isitatimende sami sangaphambilini-ke na-ke paragraph 3 ngikushilo-ke ukuthi-ke ngasebenzisa-ke ukubili-ke i-section 205 kanye nawo-ke ama-download ukuchaza-ke enkantolo futhi ngisebenzise
And make use of certain terms like MOC and MTC. MOC and MTC is an indication if the call was received or made by a person.
Ukuchaza-ke amagama afana nabo kabo MEC kanye nabo MTC, u-MOC kanye no-MTC indlela-ke noma kuyinkomba-ke ukuthi-ke ucingo uyena owashaya ucingo noma uyena owathola-ke ucingo.
Then the last paragraph of paragraph 5.
Kelly Khumalo was not a suspect and we concentrate on her as a person of interest. The number of Nkani, suspect number 5, with the number +27 73305 9202 was discovered and ownership was confirmed via e-notice and bank statement.
Kelly Khumalo wayengasiyena-ke umsolwa futhi-ke sabheka-ke nanjengomuntu nje esingambuka kodwa inamba yakhe-ke unkani umsolwa wesihlanu 277330599202 yatholakala-ke noma yabisitholakala-ke futhi-ke nokuthi kuyinamba kabani-ke lokho sasithola-ke isiqiniseko sabo nge-e-notice noma-ke iy'tatimende zasebhange.
So I was concerned about the sentence where you said Kelly was not a suspect. But you further mentioned that he was
A person of interest,
a person of interest.
that's correct.
What do you mean by that?
Person of interest, I mean by that, she was one of the persons in the house. It was one of our witnesses at that stage.
Lana-ke ngokushoyo-ke ukuthi wayengasiyona-ke umsolo kodwa-ke kuwumuntu nje esibhekileke noma-ke esimbukayo ukuthi-ke waye omunye wabantu ababekhona-ke endlini omunye wofakazi.
In paragraph 6, you talk about the rebooting of the cell phone.
That's correct.
Lebo kuyiqiniswa ukuthi la ku-paragraph 6 kukhulunywa-ke ngokurebootwa komakhalekhukhwini noma ukuvuswa-ke noma ukuvuswa-ke kwawo umakhalekhukhwini.
So is there any difference between resetting and rebooting a cell phone?
It's actually the same, but the download machine will read it as a reboot.
Uma usebenzisa-ke igama ukureset ukurebooter into-ke eyodwa-ke leyo kodwa-ke umshini wona-ke uzosebenzisa leli-ke lokuvuswa-ke noma-ke lika-reboot igama.
So do you mean if you reboot, do you switch off the cell phone? Do you switch off the device?
No,
What do you mean?
you go to your factory settings in your cell phone, factory settings, and then you ask your phone to sort of you give in sort of instruction to delete everything on your phone.
Uma-ke wenza lokhu-ke ukuvuswa-ke noma-ke lokhu kubizwa ngokuthi i-reboot uya-ke kulokhu kubizwa ngokuthi ngama-factory settings ila khona-ke manje uyitshela-ke manje-ke noma ifoni yakho leyo-ke la kuzoba nalokho ukusulwa okuzokwenzeka noma nento ey'thize ezosulwa.
During the rebooting process, that information cannot be captured by the 205s. That the
No.
cell phone was rebooted.
No,
Ama-205-ke angeke abe nayo-ke leyo mniningwane noma leyo information-ke ukuthi-ke umakhalekhukhwini wavuswa.
So in your paragraph 8, so you were adamant that there was a communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5.
that's correct.
Yebo-ke lana-ke ku-paragraph 8 yebo-ke ngisho lokho-ke futhi nginesiqiniseko noma ngiqinisekile-ke ukuthi yebo ukuxhumana kwakukhona-ke phakathi kwakho uKelly Khumalo kanye naye-ke ummangalelwa wesihlanu.
My Lord, may I request that I be given the chance to research that provision, because mainly my
Which provision is
cross-examination,
that now?
the one that we stood it down for the POPIA Act, because my main focus was on that aspect. So, with your permission,
I can give you the number of the director, the administrator, Ms. Pensi Tlakula. I can give it to you, you talk to her. I mean,
It's not
she's a civil
necessary.
servant, and she administers the act.
it's not necessary.
Oh, it's not necessary, okay, fine.
I'll just go through my research again.
How long do you need for your research, sir?
You can give me an hour, my Lord, if possible.
What are you researching? The promulgation of an act,
Yes.
the date. Or you want to research the act, read the act?
No, I don't want to read the act. My Lord, from what I gathered,
Yeah.
I understand that it has been promulgated in piecemeal. Yes. So there are certain parts that dealt with the coming to operation of this act in 2014. And if it came into operation, what part of legislation did it cover relating to that aspect?
I see.
Yes, which might be relevant to the questions that I want to impose.
Yeah, but read that act also. Sorry, read S versus Cooper, okay?
Yes, my Lord, I'll do so.
Right, an hour we adjourn.
Applicable before the POPIA Act, which authorizes you to take the device without the permission of the
Yes,
owner.
we took it as an exhibit.
Sorry?
We took it as exhibit in a crime, from a crime scene.
Ingabe ke nanjengoba sengiphoqeleke manje kulo mbuzo ke bengikubuza wona ke mayelana nawo ke lo mthetho ukuthi i-POPI Act ukhona yini umthetho ke onivumelayo ukuthi nithathe leyo makhalekhukhwini ngaphandle kwemvume yakhe umnikazi? Yebo sathatha ke leyo makhalekhukhwini nanjengezibithi ke la ekwenzeka khona isigameko.
And you further confirm that there was no need to approach any court, any competent court to obtain permission, either from the data user or the
That's
court.
correct, no.
Ngiyakusho ke nokuthi ke futhi kwakungekho ke ukuthi noma umthetho ke othi asiye enkantolo siyothola khona ke imvume yokuthi umakhalekhukhwini loyo siwuthathe.
I understand that you took it as an exhibit, but are you mindful of the fact that a right to privacy of a particular person was existing at that time?
That's correct, but they didn't have any objections when the people of Tom's seized the items at the crime scene.
Nkathi ke abantu noma laba ke abakwa Toms bethatha ke umakhalekhukhwini noma ke amazibithi lawo kwindawo yesigameko akuzange kube khona ke onenkinga noma ke kube khona ke oshoyo ukuthi ke cha yena ke akahambisani nalokho.
All right. In conclusion of my cross-examination, I will argue later that the rights of Kelly Kumalo and the person named in the communication between Kelly Kumalo, which is accused number 5, were infringed. I will argue that later.
Counsel, if Mr. Mngomezulu can lay the basis for that, the witnesses just answer that the persons did not object or consented when the exhibits were seized. On what basis now counsel putting this proposition?
There is no formal evidence on the non-objection by that party. This is just an answer from the witness, because there's no such evidence. This is what I'm going to argue at a later stage, that they infringe the rights of these persons in terms of Section 35(5).
Which rights are those? Sorry, let me understand.
The
Which rights are those?
That the information obtained from Kelly Kumalo or the communications relating to what the state is alleging, it was a communication between Kelly Kumalo and accused number 5 was obtained unlawfully in terms of Section 35(5).
I thought number 5 is saying never communicated with Ms. Kelly Kumalo.
That's correct. That's
now how is that reconcilable?
my Lord, may I address it
Yeah, fine.
for the court to understand? I said this is what the state is saying. This is not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Accused number 5 has said. I'll argue from what the point of what is said by
Okay,
the
fine.
state. Yes.
Did you read that decision I gave you?
No. That
About
decision I didn't.
proximate, immediate, etc., etc. You haven't read it. No problem.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
read
you don't
it,
have to
but
read it.
That's what I'm going to
Yeah, fine,
submit
okay.
at a later stage.
Okay, fine.
That concludes my cross
All right, Mr. Ramasipidi.
Here to survive, I'll be on.